What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So I really hope you all had a great Christmas. I know I certainly did, and I really enjoyed the bit of time off that I gave myself, but now it's time to definitely get back into the swing of things, and today we are going to do that by looking at some of the best Hoenn Pokemon theories of all time. Over the past couple months or so, I have been going over what I believe are the best Pokemon theories of all time from various regions like Kanto and Johto. And just like some of the other series on my channel where I am going through every single region, I have decided to do that for this little series as well, and today that means we are going to be looking at the Hoenn region since we looked at Johto and Kanto in previous videos in this series. The rules are the same as the other two videos where I am going to be covering 5 Pokemon theories specifically that originate from the Hoenn region and the Hoenn-based games that I personally think are the best Hoenn-related Pokemon theories of all time. Now, as with those other two videos as well, I do have to say that this is simply my opinion, and I definitely haven't seen every Hoenn-based theory that's out there, so if one that you know of isn't included in this video, don't feel too bad. In fact, definitely leave it in the comments below because I would love to hear it, but without further ado, I would like to go ahead and give you my list of what are the 5 greatest Hoenn Pokemon theories of all time. Okay, so to start things off here, we have got a very interesting one, and that is the idea that Deoxys was created by the ultimate weapon. Now, this is kind of a big claim, especially considering it involves the ultimate weapon, which of course is from Kalos and not Hoenn, but the reason why this theory is actually so probable is because the pieces just fit together so well. If we take a look at Deoxys' Pokedex entries, it's mentioned several times that Deoxys was originally a space virus that was hit by a laser which caused it to mutate and ultimately become the DNA Pokemon that we know today. With that being said, where the ultimate weapon comes into play in all this is that it is in fact a laser in and of itself. And when we get a chance to actually learn about the ultimate weapon during the AZ backstory sequence of Pokemon X and Y, we actually get to see the moment when the ultimate weapon is fired. And wouldn't you know it, the ultimate weapon is actually a laser. And not only is it a laser, we actually see a sequence where it goes up into space before heading back down to Earth. So in this sequence where we see the ultimate weapon laser go into space, it very well could have hit the space virus that Deoxys originated from, therefore making the ultimate weapon laser in fact the actual laser that created Deoxys according to its Pokedex entry. Okay, so this next one is actually as close to a fact that you could possibly get, and therefore that is exactly why it is amongst the best Hoenn theories of all time. However, the reason why it is still being referred to as just that, a theory, is because Game Freak and the Pokemon Company themselves have not come out quite yet and actually confirmed it. Therefore, until that happens, we still have to refer to it as a theory, and that would of course be the Mega Timeline theory that originated from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in the Delta episode. Now, I'm pretty sure most, if not all of you, know of the general gist of this theory, because ever since it was first uncovered in the Delta episode of ORAS way back in 2014, it has completely changed the way we look at the Pokemon world's history and lore forever. And not only that, it has completely dictated moving forward how we look at the way the games themselves relate to each other and how the entirety of the Pokemon universe comes together as a whole. However, for the sake of explanation, I am going to go ahead and give a quick rundown of the theory right now. In the Delta episode of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, as you are trying to eradicate the meteor that's about to crush into the Hoenn region, the suggested solution for this problem is to send the meteor to another dimension. However, Zinnia, the main character of the Delta episode, detests this, saying that what if you actually send that giant meteor to another version of Hoenn where they don't have the capability to stop the meteor themselves. And from this statement is where the entire idea of a multiple Pokemon timeline universe came about, where one timeline has Mega Evolution and another does not. The idea is that all of the games that feature Mega Evolution, i.e. X and Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, as well as the new Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, are all a part of the Mega Timeline where this capability and this energy exists. Whereas some of the older games that do not feature Mega Evolution, such as Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, and so on, are a part of the non-Mega Timeline where the capability of Mega Evolution is non-existent. The reason why this is one of the best Hoenn Pokemon theories and one of the best Pokemon theories in general of all time is fairly simple, and it's because, like I said, it's basically a fact at this point. Not only does it perfectly explain the disparity of Mega Evolution in older games versus newer games, which allows them to tell a variety of different stories and more importantly allows them to experiment with a variety of different gameplay mechanics, which just as I said earlier gives them a lot more freedom instead of being constrained to the set, restricted, more linear formula that they might have had up to that point. Now, this next one is nothing short of an absolute treat, because not only is it very convincing, it also uncovers a very, very dark conspiracy within the Hoenn region, the likes of which we have hardly ever seen anywhere else throughout the entirety of Pokemon's history. This theory, which comes from a number of Pokemon theorists, including Ovi, Birdkeeper Toby, and Swordsdance, suggests that the New Mauville location, which was more or less just a power plant in the original Ruby and Sapphire, is actually a post-apocalyptic bunker in the new ORAS remakes, and the reason for this is because of the general look and feel of the New Mauville location, as well as the fact that it is mentioned that it has a number of different floors that go very deep underground, just like that of an apocalyptic bunker. But it gets much, much darker with the addition of C Mauville, a new location in the ORAS remakes that took the place of the abandoned ship and also acts as a companion location to New Mauville. Now, the idea under this theory is that New Mauville, being a post-apocalyptic bunker, needed an enormous amount of energy in order to allow it to function. In order to get this energy, the leaders of the New Mauville project, such as Watson, such as the leaders of the Devon Corporation, and so on, constructed C Mauville as a facility in which they could actually harness the power of infinity energy from Pokemon, and in order to do so, they actually killed them, and they killed them by the boatload. That's right, in order to get the necessary power to run their new post-apocalyptic bunker, the leaders of the New Mauville project determined that they had to get infinity energy from Pokemon, and in order to do that, they actually had to kill Pokemon themselves in order to properly extract it. The evidence for the actual killing of Pokemon is actually numerous because, number one, among the rules of C Mauville is do not bring your Pokemon to work, suggesting that if you do, they might get killed and harnessed for the energy. Number two, there are a number of other rules within C Mauville that not only sound very creepy, they definitely suggest that something suspicious was going on at one time within the facility, and then probably the most conclusive evidence of all that there were a lot of Pokemon that were killed at C Mauville is the appearance of Spiritomb there. Spiritomb is a unique Pokemon that is actually formed when 108 spirits come together inside of its odd keystone, and yes, you guessed it, those 108 spirits that formed this particular Spiritomb on C Mauville were the spirits of dead Pokemon killed for their energy in order to power the New Mauville facility. In a nutshell, the New Mauville facility was created, the leaders of this project realized that they needed an enormous amount of power in order to run it, so the C Mauville facility was created in order to harness this power, and it was determined that they needed infinity energy from Pokemon, which caused them to kill numerous Pokemon in order to harness this energy. As a part of this plan, they received an odd keystone from the Sinnoh region in order to store the spirits of the Pokemon that they killed as they harnessed their infinity energy, and once enough Pokemon were killed and enough spirits were stored within the odd keystone, this created the Spiritomb that you are able to find in the C Mauville location in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Next up is another very interesting one, courtesy of my very good friend Hybrid Hero. This one also, much like the very first theory we talked about in this video, involves Deoxys, but it takes a bit of a different turn, because this theory actually suggests that the space virus that Deoxys originates from is actually the Pokerus virus that every single Pokemon is capable of being infected with. Now, there are a lot of details with this theory that I'm not going to be able to cover here for the sake of time, so if you want a more detailed explanation, I definitely recommend checking out Hybrid Hero's video on the topic. But just to give you a quick summarization and a quick idea of what this theory is all about and why it's convincing, it suggests that Deoxys is the Pokerus virus, and the reason why this can be believed is because of the similarities between the two. We of course know that Deoxys is capable of transforming into 4 4 different forms that all circle around different stats, such as speed form, defense form, attack form, and so on. And the Pokémon virus very much does the same thing, that is, revolves around the concept of stats, because once your Pokemon is infected with it, your Pokemon will actually get various stat boosts, just like Deoxys's different forms get stat boosts depending on which form it actually takes. So the fact that both of these viruses are unique in and of themselves, but they also just so happen to revolve around the concept of stats, definitely links them together and definitely makes it possible that Deoxys very well could be a mutated version of the Pokémon virus. However, like I said, if you want a couple more pieces of evidence that further support this idea, I highly recommend checking out Hybrid's video because it's a very, very good one. And finally, the last theory we're going to be covering in this video is a theory about the Regi Trio. The Regi Trio are of course very infamous within the Hoenn region for being very, very hard to get access to, because in order to even get access to these Pokemon, you have to go through a number of very odd and specific puzzles and requirements, which really begs the question of why they are so hard to get in the first place. Well, this theory suggests that the reason why they are so hard to get is because the Regis were actually sealed away by none other than the Draconids in order to stop their trio master, Regigigas. Points in favor of this theory include the fact that the timelines of both the Regis and the Draconids fit together very well, because we know that the Regis were sealed away and we know that the Draconids were around in the Hoenn region a relatively long time ago, which gives the Draconids the opportunity to be the people who actually sealed the Regis away in the first place. Of course, the reason why the Draconids would want to seal away the Regis is to take away the power of Regigigas, and the reason why they would want to stop Regigigas is because Regigigas has the ability to move continents, which means that it could, in all likelihood, overpower another Earth-based Hoenn legendary like Groudon, which the Draconids likely feared. So in order to stop the imminent possible threat of Regigigas, they took away its power by sealing away its 3 other counterparts in Regice, Regirock, and Registeel. And there's actually evidence within the puzzles themselves that you have to solve in order to gain access to the Regis that the Draconids were the ones who put them there in the first place. Because amongst other things, there are a couple of very specific moves that your Pokemon need to know in order to gain access to the chambers where the Regis reside, and those moves would be Fly and Dig. Now obviously a lot of Pokemon can learn Fly and Dig, but they can only really learn it by TM, and since all of this occurred a very long time ago, it's likely that TMs didn't exist, so you would need to have a Pokemon back in the day that would naturally be able to learn Fly and Dig in order for you to be able to unlock these chambers in the first place as they were intended. And a couple of Pokemon in particular that are able to learn Fly and Dig naturally are Flygon and Salamence, 2 dragon Pokemon that are signature Pokemon of the Draconids themselves. This theory was created by M&J TV and Birdkeeper Toby, so all credit goes to them, and it is in my opinion definitely one of the best Hoenn Pokemon theories of all time. And there we have it, everybody. Those are what I think are the best Hoenn Pokemon theories of all time. However, like I said at the beginning of the video, I obviously haven't seen every theory that there is to see, so if there is a theory you know of that you really enjoyed that originates from the Hoenn region that I did not mention, definitely leave it in the comments below, because the point of this video is to just enjoy all of the great theories that are out there. If you did enjoy this video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of these theories, and as I said, if you have any other theories of your own that you'd like to share. As always, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content all the time, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, as well as Let's Plays every Monday and Friday as well. And if you enjoy Pokemon music and remixes, I would really appreciate you giving me a follow over on Spotify, because not only will you be able to enjoy a lot of my personal Pokemon remixes, it will also help out the channel immensely, which I would really appreciate. With all of that being said though, I will be back with another video very soon, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as it goes live. And with all of that being said, once again, I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. I hope you're looking forward to the new year as much as I am, and until then, as always, I love you guys, and I will smell you guys later.